and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-253-0197. 800-253-0197. Again, that's 800-253-0197. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by-appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
It's fall football season, and Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is doubling down. Now with 2 Valley locations. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on their Asian-inspired comfort food like Korean steak tacos, Mongolian barbecue ribs, and signature Wagyu beef sliders. Always a memorable dinner, or catch the game and a bite at the bar at Kasai. Now with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road in Thunderbird, and in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppan.com. That's Kasai Teppan.com, or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Porte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 Euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display, plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more, all at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Thursday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien. Not alongside Randy White. He'll be along later. Not alongside Ralph. Said he'd be here, but I don't see him yet. Hey, at least Keon's there. Keon's always there. Keon's in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. It'll be broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Getting ready for some Thursday night football coming up at 4:30. The Minnesota Vikings are taking on what is left of the LA Rams. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But first, let's talk about last night's Suns game. Overtime. It took overtime to beat the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. And, James Harden showed up and played as regular season James Harden does. and complete with scoring a lot of points and missing some free throws. If he'd have made a free throw at the end of overtime there, it would have gone to double overtime. Thank God it didn't. And then thank God that at the very end, Grayson Allen was able to chase down that inbound pass and just end the game finally. But that was the first game in the Intuit Bowl. Bowl or Dome? What do they call
Dome.
it?
It's the Intuit Dome. Yeah.
It's a basketball place. They shouldn't call it a dome.
I mean, it is shaped like a dome, and they've
Well,
had
I
and
get
like
that,
other
but-
basketball arenas have been called domes before.
Really? Like which one?
Yeah,
I never-
where the Pistons used to play.
Usually it's just an arena or a center.
Usually, but that's more recent. I know, like in the A's and stuff, there were domes.
Yeah, I'm annoyed. But whatever, doesn't matter.
Spurs used to play in the Alamo Dome.
Norman Powell scored the first basket there with a jumper 17 seconds into the game. So there's that little piece of history for the Ballmer Dome. That's what I'm going to call it, the Ballmer Dome, because that's just it's his house, you know.
Very much, yeah.
And it was fun watching him lose his mind a little bit.
As he's known to, he was kind of up and down, and they had a camera basically just on him for him because he's at points he was more entertaining than the game, and I thought it was a pretty good game.
All right, so you know, this is just one game, nothing to get crazy about, nothing to get excited about, but we got a little glimpse at what Budenholzer brings to the table as a coach. What was your take on that, Keon?
Yeah, this team is shooting more threes. I mean, they were one of the better three-point shooting teams in terms of percentage last year, but they took bottom 5 in the amount of threes in the league. So like that was part of it as well. So I'm really interested in seeing how he continues to expand that and find guys space on the floor. I thought that was a really cool aspect also. And then of course, Tyus Jones, I thought was just having him there at point guard made life easier for everybody else, because now Beal can just shoot. He doesn't have to worry about I'm the point guard right now. And I think the same for Booker and Durant.
Well, Beal had 24, Durant had 25. I don't know what Devin Booker had, but I know he fouled out. I know that much. Hey, look, there's Randy and Ralph. They both showed up at the same time. We go ahead and hey, Randy. Hey, Ralph.
We were
Howdy.
spooning. Yeah,
Howdy.
we were spooning, so we're good.
But that is incorrect. There's nothing truthful about that statement.
It's very true. You're just lying.
Sorry, I'm going to have to deny that, my friend.
Okay, show the scratch on your back.
No, no scratches on my back.
So tomorrow the Suns play the Lakers.
So
when you lose that game,
tomorrow's the World Series. Who cares about the Lakers?
When you lose that game,
look, the only time I want to talk about Lakers is when I can troll Donnie for being an idiot that they lost to the Lakers and he was boo-hooing for days and days. So that was fun. But other than that,
that gave me joy. That did give me joy.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to do is give you joy.
That's all that matters. I am properly sick. I'm going to do the best I can not to cough into the microphone for the next hour and a half, but yeah, this should go pretty quickly. We've got our picks in this hour, and we've got Scott, the Fantasy Football King Ingle, in the next hour leading up to Thursday night football. Yeah, all right. So we got to win. That's nice. It's nothing that we're going to get crazy about. Not calling the championship. We're not calling the playoffs. It's just It was a good win, and it was nice to hand it over to the Clippers in their brand new house.
Was it a good win?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Is there a W on the thing? It's a good win.
Against the Clippers mash unit, that was a good win. Okay.
Well,
if there's a W, it's a good
whenever,
win.
Whenever
Yeah.
you got to find to make it feel good.
I mean, you say mash unit. They were missing Kawhi, who they're always missing. Who else were they really missing that they couldn't live without? That's the Clippers.
Wasn't Bo Mamba not playing either? So he was out, right? Mo Bamba,
okay, so the
is.
difference in that game was going to be Mo Bamba that makes them a mash unit. Ralph, come on. Seriously, just seriously get.
Keon, if you feel good about this, I feel good.
They were missing their backup center. They were missing their backup center, and they're a mash unit now because Kawhi's never there, and Mo Bamba, who comes off the bench, wasn't there.
We'll put an asterisk on it. We'll put an asterisk.
Oh, thank you. Quick, just get ready for the anal probing happening tomorrow night. That's
When's
all.
This? Where? What's the address?
What?
I really expected that question from the Moist one more than anyone else. But all right. Yeah.
So, what did you make of the Clippers wall, the big wall of fans thing, where you can only sit there if you're an actual fan? You can't sell the seats. It has to be Clippers fans to sit there to try to distract from the free throws and stuff.
It's intense. I actually like it a lot. It makes that whole section feel like a college game. Like there's just a bunch of people who are just insanely passionate about the Clippers. It also has this weird angle, so it does kind of mess with your depth perception a little bit, which I'm sure some of the missed free throws that's not helping James Harden too. I mean, right. it kind of worked against them at points in the game.
Well, don't they stop the whole moving thing when it's their own team shooting?
I mean, they stop the moving thing, but the angle that the whole section is at just makes the basket look like it's much closer than it normally is. It's a very weird depth perception thing.
Well, it got Booker for one, and it got Durant for two, but
then it got Harden later on.
I've often wondered why we don't do the curtain of distraction like ASU does in basketball. You know, in some of these, like for the Suns, you'd have the curtain of distraction in there.
Yes,
give those boys from ASU some free tickets. Let them go down to the games and rub mayonnaise on themselves as somebody's
or whatever it is they're doing. Yeah, I've seen that. It's crazy.
It's disturbing. It is. Well, that's nice. That's nice to see that we got a win there on our first game, and hopefully game two will go the same way. We'll find out. That game is tomorrow. Before we get into the picks, I think it was Hefty Lefty sent this over, and I just looked at this. I'm like, this is just the NFL in a nutshell. The first story comes from CBS Sports. Says NFL concerned about epidemic of gun-related celebrations resurfacing this season. You know, because they go pew pew. You know, they do the little that little thing, and then people are getting fines, people are getting flags, and then the very next story, the NFL has announced Machine Gun Kelly will headline the halftime performance at the league's final international game in Munich.
Wow,
perfect. Two things about that. One, well, you get the irony. Two, in Germany, the last people you want to be inspiring, you know, to machine guns. So, I mean, just across the board, this is just the NFL in a nutshell.
Now, wait a minute. I saw a thing where in Munich, they were singing John Denver songs, Take Me Home, Country Roads.
No, that was still London.
Last season, right?
Well, they do that in London. I don't know why the people across the ocean decide to sing these horrible songs.
Well, that was the one I saw on the NFL Network. Rich Eisen said, "This is Munich, Germany," and they were singing "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
Yeah. They did that in London last week.
That is what America sounds like to them. So do with that information what you will.
Well, they're going to get a rude awakening if that's the kind of music they think Americans listen to when Machine Gun Kelly loads it up for one halftime performance.
Could not find a more has-been artist as well, but all right, sure.
I don't even know what his music sounds like.
I don't either.
Well, it depends.
Is it music?
Are we getting
like crap?
Are we getting barely rap Machine Gun Kelly? Or are we getting the rock version that because he basically just changed entire genres of music after he tried to insult Eminem, and it got into a rap battle that ended so badly for Machine Gun Kelly. He switched entire genres of music. He does something else now. So I don't know if he raps anymore. I have no idea.
All right. Well,
of all the people they could have chosen, but okay.
Fish Tank says Machine Gun Kelly is trash. I believe you.
He's not good.
Chief Skull says when Ralph is on, he is 1580's curtain of distraction.
Good, because it needs it.
Navy Brad says, good afternoon, everyone. Have you heard skull is the word? No.
Grease is the word.
Grease is the word. Yeah, I've heard that.
Not skull.
Old man says, good evening, boys. I'm going to try to stay up for the whole show today. Good luck on that.
Yeah. Enjoy your journey.
The Jet says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Ralph.
Okay.
I understand the bitterness. It's fine.
So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm playing very sick right now. I think I took some Robitussin, and that actually is suppressing my cough a bit more than it was yesterday. I'm not coughing nearly as much.
Excellent.
I think I'll still cough some, but it won't be as bad as yesterday. But I'll try to not talk as much. So you guys get lots of time to anal analyze these games. Wow. So give it your
analysis.
Old man says, What hour are we talking football? I'm saving the cards season. We're talking football for nothing but the next hour and a half, man. So hang in there. All right, shall we get this thing started? Let's talk about the games that happen here on 1580 The Fanatic. First, Thursday night football. Donnie's Vikings. They're not even his Vikings. They're Chief Skulls Vikings. I was going to say they're Chief Skulls. Taking on nobody's LA Rams, except for, oh, no, wait, that's one of Ralph's many teams. That's one of Ralph's teams. So this is at SoFi Stadium. The Rams are just hot garbage. And the Vikings, fresh off for some, a surprising defeat to the Lions. Although Randy and I picked the Lions, so we were not surprised.
Yeah, we were not surprised.
Against these Rams, I don't see that happening again. What do you see, Ralph?
I see Puka Nacua coming back tonight. That's going to help. But not going to help enough. But it'll be interesting to see Stafford go against that secondary because they're not very good in the secondary. They should have some success and put some points up. But I'm going to still believe in Sam Darnold and the Vikings, and I think they're going to win this game. I think it'll be closer than people think, but I'll take the Vikings.
All right, Keon and Darnold, do you trust? Or think Matt Stafford will find his rhythm with some Puka?
I mean, I'm still iffy on the Puka thing because when the injury report tells me what happened, that's when I'll believe it, because we've had some very sketchy things with teams releasing injury stuff to reporters, and they're just wrong. They're just incorrect because, if it's an anonymous source reporting something to a reporter, you can say whatever you want. So there's a little gamesmanship sometimes going on in these things. I'm just not sure, but either way, even if Puka plays, the Vikings are just a better team. Will they give up a lot of yards? Yeah, they'll give up a ton of yards in the air, but they think they do a really good job of keeping teams, especially teams that struggle like the Rams are struggling, out of the end zone. And I think that if you want to beat these Vikings, you're going to have to be able to put up at least 24, 26 points. I don't think the Rams can do that on this defense.
Maybe 27 points.
Well, if you can't get 26, you're not getting 27. So,
well, I mean,
what about 28?
28.
Well, that would also fall outside.
Do I 29? Do I 29? Do I 30, 30, 30, 30, 31, 31, 31, 32, 32, 32, 33, 33, 34. Anybody at 34, 34, 34, 34, 34, and sold for 34. Wow. So, Randy, who do you think is going to win?
That was annoying.
Thank you. Minnesota is going to win. Sam Darnold is not seeing ghosts, and the rest of the team is pretty mad that Detroit beat them in the manner that they beat them, and so they're going to take it out on the Hollywood Yams.
They should. They should. Yeah. I am picking Minnesota on this one. Easy. Chief Skull says, Ralph, tell the truth. Just say the Rams suck and leave it at that.
I don't think they suck. I think they have a lot of injuries that are hurting them, but I think they'll put up a lot of points. So
CK says the fact that Ralph is taking the Vikings, well, I'll take the Rams on the money line.
I mean,
I'll take that bet.
Costing yourself money just to spite Ralph is interesting as a choice, but
all right. Pinocchio says, Jeffrey, I'll donate my left lung to you right now if it keeps you talking more and Ralph talking less. Beer me, Randy.
Wow.
I'll keep that in mind.
I intend to talk a lot more now.
Wow. Just another face in the crowd says, if you try Robitussin with some whiskey, you won't worry about how you sound.
That's true.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think Robitussin is also an ingredient in something that was very, very messy. Anyway, let's get back to the picks. Let's see. Next game on 1580, The Fanatic. Looks to be, it's your game, Ralph. The Buffalo Bills versus Seattle Seahawks. That game airs at 1 p.m. on Sunday here on 1580 The Fanatic. So, all right, Buffalo Bills are 5-2. Seattle is 4-3. Doing pretty good with Geno Smith, but their defense is hot garbage, and they've got a lot of injuries. I mean, I don't know. Are they up to the task, or is this just going to be a complete stump? Remember, Buffalo's got some new offensive weapons, Keon.
Yeah, I think that I think Buffalo gets the win here. I mean, I like what Seattle's been able to try and do to add some extra support around Geno, but he's still out there throwing the football like a bunch of times in a game, and that just doesn't lead to me to good things. I know you've got that connection with DK, but like the Bills are going to bring pressure, and I just don't like the Seahawks offensive line. And the run game being your strength is not necessarily a benefit here because that's what the Bills defend against the best. So with Amari Cooper out there, you already saw just having a single receiver who can separate, giving Josh Allen some assistance. You give Josh Allen that level of help, we're going to see Josh Allen look more like what he looked like at the beginning of the season, alongside with having Khalil Shakir out there and some other options. So I just think the Bills, now that they've gotten some weapons retooled, I'll give them the edge against the Seahawks.
Randy, the Rainy City Bitch Pigeons, they're a thorn in your side.
Yeah, that's true. That's very damn true, Jeffco.
So now you're looking at the Buffalo Bills going, oh, Billy.
Yeah, well,
Billy, come on.
I think originally, if the Seattle Sea Chickens, if their team wasn't so banged up and injured, this might be a good game. But hell's bells, man, come on! You guys think I am? I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game.
I got the Bills on this one as well, but I'm hoping for a good game. I don't know how they are in their injury situation, but if it is not too changed from previous weeks, this defense is just going to get stomped in the ground by the Bills. Ralph, what do you think?
They've made some trades to kind of help with the defense. Like they just picked up Ernest Jones this week, which is a great pickup for Seattle at linebacker, and he's going to start at middle linebacker, and he's a big run stopper, so that's really going to help their defense. I heard Reek Willen, there's a good chance he'll be back this week. So they're starting to get healthy. Brian Murphy's healthy. He played last week. Little by little, they're starting to come back. On the offensive side of the ball, yeah, the right side of the line's been hot garbage with the fourth string, but George Fant's supposed to be back this week, and Abe Lucas is supposed to be back in 2 weeks. So we're starting to get people coming back, which is going to help. I think the defense will play better this week. Of course, Allen's Allen. I mean, he's awesome. They're going to have to break his leg to kind of slow him down. I don't know if that's going to happen. I was really impressed with Seattle last week. They really took it to the Falcons when I thought they were going to lose. They showed me something. I'm going to stay with them. I think they're going to show me something this week. I'm going to take Seattle to upset the Bills at home.
You're a lone wolf on that one for sure.
I am. I just feel they're starting to get healthy, and I love the trade of Ernest Jones. It's a great pickup.
All right, we just got started, but let's go ahead and take our break now. We'll come back, and we'll get the rest of our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks going. And Fish Tank still the lead man. He's been the lead man for the entire season.
Wow.
On the picks contest. Very impressive. But anyways, more of our picks and more whatever when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Maybe. They hit the button.
Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
NFL, the Arizona Cardinals will be on the road to face the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins expect to have Tua Tagovailoa back from a concussion. Cardinals are 3-4 coming off Monday's win against the Los Angeles Chargers on a last-second field goal. The Dolphins are a 3.5-point home favorite, -109 against the spread, while the Cardinals getting the 3.5, -115. On the money line, Arizona +150. The Dolphins are -175, and the over-under total sits at 45.5. The under -105, and the over -115. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. In my line of work, I've seen firsthand how fast the world can change. With rising geopolitical tensions and inflation eating your buying power, it's time to take action. For me, that means gold. And for gold, I exclusively trust Advantage Gold. I urge you to do the same. Call them now at 800-900-8000 for a free gold guide to discover the security that comes with owning precious metals. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Thursday Night Football is live on the Fanatic.
Thursday night, Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings are Hollywood bound when they take on the Los Angeles Rams at home at SoFi Stadium. The Vikings look to get right after suffering a loss to division foes, the Lions. The Rams look to get relevant in the NFC West. Vikings at Rams this Thursday at 4:30.
Your home for the NFL in the Valley is 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and 1580thefanatic.com.
Danny Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Big George says, I agree with Ralph. Seahawks win big this weekend. Go Seahawks. What the hell's wrong with you, George?
What's that about?
George?
Yeah.
The hell, George?
There's something there. That's not real.
Hey, you said it. It's right there, man.
It's not real. I'm not believing it. It's like when my wife says I love you. I don't buy it.
Yeah, you got to be very suspicious about that.
Yeah, I am.
Navy Brad says Vikings 38, Ralph's Rams 10.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Old man says, I had a friend years ago that was a height challenge, and he wore lifts. Maybe Murray could wear 6-inch lifts and see over that offensive line. I don't think they have 6-inch lifts. I don't think that's even a thing, is it?
I don't know.
High heels.
Hey, he could probably rock some
hard
high
to-
heels.
You can wear
Too
pumps.
hard to run in, isn't it? I mean, high heels. I mean, how do you run in those things, Ralph?
Yeah, Ralph.
He's got those floppy feet, so I mean, it would probably work for him.
Well, we've suggested everything. Boingy boingy legs, you name it.
Oh yeah.
Well, how about those kangaroo things?
Kangaroo.
You ever seen those?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like a big shock absorber, and they
Yeah.
make you bounce. He could wear those. That gives him like a 6-7 inch lift right off the bat, and he'll be able to jump over people.
Ka-chink, 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 and then just throw it.
I think that would work.
ASU buddy says I should drink a hot toddy for the cough. What is a hot toddy?
I think it's lemonade or lemon water, something like that. Some honey in there, and then a giant shot of whiskey.
I'll just take the shot of whiskey.
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's really the
yeah, but the
part that works the best.
honey's supposed to help with the cough.
Uh-huh.
The whiskey is just good for being whiskey. The
Let's
honey,
hold all that medicinal crap and
the
give
honey
me
and
whiskey.
the lemon is supposed to help with the cough part of
No,
it. All
Which
right.
it does. You know that, right?
down the hatch.
You should do that.
Yeah.
Works better than that garbage you're probably taking.
Robitussin.
Yeah, I said honey's better.
Got a flask of Robitussin. All right, let's get on to our next game. Sunday Night Football. It's the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams, well, you know,
suck.
I'm going to say suck.
They suck.
Well, okay, listen. 49ers are injured beyond injured.
Oh, I agree. That's why they suck.
Dallas has no excuse.
Well, Dallas is also injured. I mean, they sucked before they were injured, but
Right.
Micah Parsons is injured, and Deron Bland is injured, and Brandon Cooks is injured, and DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, those are all starters for them, and kind of important starters too.
Hasn't really helped either way. Healthy, injured, they are still what they are. So the 3-3 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 3-4 San Francisco 49ers. Randy, I know you can't stand either team. So who do you give the edge to on this one?
Well, it is in Santa Rosa. So all those rabid San Francisco fans are going to be there yelling and screaming, throwing debris on the field, things like that. I'd have to say I'm going to take Dallas. I think they have a more realized team, even though both teams are in bad shape. I have to go with, and I hate doing it. Right? I would rather drink a hot toddy and have the words that Dallas Cowboys will win this game. But I'm forced to do it. I'm forced to do it.
Well, I am forced to say nay. I'm going to give it to the San Francisco 49ers. I think that they have enough of the pieces that are necessary to beat the Dallas Cowboys, who just are really the epitome of can't get out of our own way. So I'm going to give it to the 49ers. Keon?
Yeah, I'm going Niners too. The Cowboys cannot run the football, and they cannot stop the run. They are the 27th ranked run defense. They are literally last in running offense. But they just, that's, if you You could not build a worse team to put around Dak Prescott than what the Cowboys currently are. And yes, injuries are playing kind of a part of that, but this team is not good. They have the second-ranked passing offense, and it's not going to matter because they can't run the football.
All right, Ralph, what do you say? 49ers or Cowboys?
I hate both these teams. This is a total pick 'em in my opinion. I mean, I hear what you guys are saying. Dallas
This doesn't feel like a pick 'em to me at
well,
all.
Dallas is coming off a bye, and I like teams that come off byes. They figure it out. They got destroyed when they played Detroit 2 weeks ago.
Micah Parsons looks like he ain't playing. So.
Yeah, I know that too. I'm hoping that they actually got some stuff together and did some stuff because Brock Purdy hasn't looked good this year, and I know he doesn't have his weapons, but the weapons he does has, he hasn't been good with. He's very inconsistent. He makes some really bad passes this year that he typically wasn't making. I don't know. I agree. I mean, yeah, the Niners should win because they're at home, but I'm going to be different, and I'm going to go with Randy and take Dallas. I don't know that they're going to win, but to me, this is a pick 'em.
Basically, Ralph has flipped the coin.
Yeah, basically, but I'll take Dallas.
Bear Claw says, ask Fish Tank if he ever went 15 for 15 in the weekly pool. Was that you, Bear Claw, that got 15 right the other day? Good for you, man. Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers at home versus the New York Giants. How lucky are we that this is Monday Night Football?
It's going to be exciting.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
All right, Keon, go ahead and start since you seem all giddy.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about this. I do like the Steelers offense with Russell Wilson at the helm.
Can you believe they're 5-2, though?
No, I cannot believe
that's a weird number to see next to the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, right?
Yeah, but I do think that they for years they were always one of those kind of ad quarterback teams, and then they got out of Justin Fields a dynamic game manager, a guy who could manage the game, but then if he had to take off and make plays with his legs, he could absolutely do that. And Justin Fields did that for a few weeks, and they brought Russell Wilson in, and he kind of gives them that element too. But he also gives them the explosive playmaking downfield in the passing game. He already seems to have some kind of a connection with George Pickens, which I like a lot. And I just don't think that this Giants offense can hang with them and really put up enough points to beat this Steelers team that suddenly they can put points on the board. They're not just beating you with defense, but also they can just beat you with defense.
All right, Randy, what do you think? Steelers or Giants?
Well, I'm a believer in the Steelers. I mean, they've got an A-plus defense, and TJ Watts has been doing nothing but wrecking other teams and ruining run games and sacking quarterbacks. So this is a Pittsburgh team that's got that that fabled Pittsburgh steel defense, whatever the hell they were. I don't know. Steel curtain,
right? Yeah,
yeah. And in New York, they've got what do they say? RD8 is the head coach, and he can't figure out what's going on. Danny Dimes, the mouth breather, is back there throwing to somebody. It remains to be seen who. And Pittsburgh wins big.
I think. Did we all take Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think.
Did Ralph get to talk about this yet?
And I think Ralph talked about this.
Ralph even want to talk about this?
Yeah, I do because you know what you said. What can't believe Pittsburgh's 5-2. I can. Mike Tomlin's the best coach in the NFL.
True.
Yes.
I mean, there's no doubt.
Wait. He's one of. I don't think he's the.
He is the best coach in
better
the NFL.
Than Andy Reid. Come on,
he is the best coach in the NFL with what the players that he has every year and what he does is amazing.
It's amazing what he does, but I can't get on board with him being the best.
That's okay. I don't need you on board. And I did say last week the Steelers would win, and they did. And I tell you what I really like about Russell Wilson and this offense. Russell hasn't lost his touch. His touch passes look really good, and that's something that I think Fields really struggled at. And his deep ball still looks really good. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year in the AFC with Russell at the helm. So I'm taking the Steelers big in this game. I think they really dominate this game, and I think Russ is, like I said, he could become Black Player of the Year. And I think he's going to have a heck of a season.
Fish Tank says to Bear Claw, who is bragging about getting 15 right, he says, no, I have not gone 15 for 15. So good on you for getting every game in 1 week right.
The most backhanded compliment I've ever heard in my life.
That was good.
when you get up top here, we'll talk.
Cheese Skull says, why did Ralph go through puberty saying, yeah, I do. That high pitch killed my ears.
I don't know. Sometimes that happens.
People's
voices aren't
okay. Thank you.
Right. I don't know.
All right. So, yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. I don't know if I said that. All right. So let's go now. Let's see whose game is next. Let's talk about could be a good game. Jeffrey O'Brien's theory of suckage relativity applies to the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both are 4-3. Both are sometimes good, sometimes not so good. I think they're evenly matched right now, if you ask me. So the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers there in Florida. What do you say, Keon? Who's going to win this one?
Falcons. I don't think they're evenly matched anymore. I think they were, and then minus a Chris Godwin, minus a Mike Evans. This is not the same football team. They run the football. That's what they want to do. But when they establish the run and they go play action with Baker Mayfield, or they start running RPOs with Baker Mayfield, it was Godwin and Evans that were killing you, especially Godwin. That's the one that hurts the most. I just think that the Falcons do enough offensively. They can hang in this game and hang with this team. And then without Godwin and Evans to really put it over the top and all the weapons that Atlanta has, I'll take the Falcons.
What do you say, Randy?
Oh, I got the Falcons winning this game. Yeah, for the same reasons, basically, that Keon said. When you lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I mean, this team, the Tampa Bay team, went down a few notches. So I'll take Atlanta. And I think Atlanta knows what to do with their weapons. So
I really thought that they would have made a move. Tampa Bay. I mean, one guy's got a foot going the wrong direction. The other guy's got a hamstring injury. And you're thinking, yeah, maybe they'd made a move for some other wide receiver, but they didn't. I mean, that actually bodes well for me because I've got Cade Otton, their tight end, and I might even play him this week because of this, because he's going to get a lot of attention. Don't know if that's going to turn into a W for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is a better team all the way around than people will give them credit for. But I just can't do it. I got to go with the Atlanta Falcons on this one too.
You look at the remaining wide receivers on that depth chart, and there is simply no way.
I know. I'm not talking about the wide receivers. I'm talking about the rest of the team in general. It's a pretty solid team, right now. But you're right. You're not going to get very far with the guys they've got left in the wide receiver room.
And also, it's you said that you thought they would have made a move. Maybe they still can. The trade deadline is November 5th, so that's in a couple of weeks.
Well, I mean, not in time for this game, but
So like maybe you don't want to force anything, but I think the Buccaneers might still be a player. Cooper Kupp, I've heard, is on the trade block. So
yeah, they're going to have to do something, and I don't know if he's really a solution, but okay,
he is a human being who can catch the football because they don't have any right now.
They do need a human being. Let's go to Keon's game, shall we? Keon, your Washington Commandos are 5-2. That's got to be weird for you to hear.
I still am not used to it. So
Chicago Bears, surprisingly, 4-2. That is a little bit surprising.
And they were off to a slower start, and they figured it out. I think the play calling got a whole lot better.
This is at the beautiful FedEx Field in D.C. or wherever the hell you people play. But
Landover, but that's fine.
Where? Huh?
Landover, Maryland.
Well, whatever. So, all right, Randy, Washington Commandos at home against the Chicago Bears. What do you think about this?
Well, what happened to the quarterback for Washington? Is he okay? Is he going to play this week?
Yeah, is Daniels playing or not?
I don't know. I have no idea. He
got Marcus Mariota if he doesn't.
He missed a couple of practices. He missed 2 practices.
Refigure this here.
If he doesn't play tomorrow, my guess would be that he's not playing.
And Jaden Daniels, and then he got a carry to 4.
There's no time for doing math, Randy.
And all right, I'm going to take the Washington Commandos. I'm riding with the team, and I'm staying there. I like what they've been doing. I like the way they've protected Jaden Daniels up until he got hurt. And then I like what their defense is. Surprising, their defense have been this season. So give me that, and I think. Although I think Chicago's on their way up, I just don't know that they have arrived yet. But that's just my take.
Anyway. I'm going to give you a conditional pick. If Jaden Daniels plays, I'll pick Commandos. If he doesn't, I got to think about picking the Bears. And I have another conditional pick for another one of these games we'll talk about in a second. What do you say, Ralph?
I say Caleb Williams has gotten better every week. He finally looks like he's in sync and has control of the offense. That defense is lights out. This is a tough game whether Jaden Daniels plays or not. And I'm going to take the Bears. I think the Bears are better than people think they are, and they're getting better every week. I love the defense, and I love what Caleb is starting to do. So I'm taking the Bears.
All right. Well, mine is conditional. What condition is your pick in, Keon, for your own team?
Yeah, mine is conditional too, but as of this moment, Jaden Daniels doesn't look like he's going to play Sunday. We'll see. He's going to attempt to practice Friday. That's what the team said. So if he practices Friday, good chance he plays Sunday, and I would take the Commanders. But without Jaden Daniels out there, I'm taking the Bears, man. Like that defense is legitimate. That's a top 5 defense. They're top 5 in run defense and pass defense. And overall, like that just is a good recipe. It's just hard to move the ball on these guys. And then, yeah, like Ralph said, Caleb Williams is starting to settle down in that offense. It looks really, really good. I think Shane Waldron, the offensive coordinator, kind of dialed some things back. The first couple of weeks, it was all these deep developing routes and Caleb's running for his life. The offensive line's not good enough for that. So they kind of scaled it in, got Caleb more into the quick game where he's comfortable anyway. And so now you're moving the ball quickly. They play at a really, really good tempo. I'm going to take the Bears to beat the Commanders. Unless Jaden Daniels plays, I just think Jaden can be a game changer with the way that he does stuff out of structure.
What's the injury?
Ribs.
Okay.
Ribs, potentially fractured ribs. So
Hamilton Porter says not going to happen, but if the Lions get Max Crosby, look out. So who are the teams that are talking about Max Crosby? One of them needs to be the Chiefs because, they've had some injuries to their defense. I know the 49ers probably could use a little help in that department.
I mean, I've heard the Lions the most just because of the Aiden Hutchinson injury. And like that obviously changes a lot about what they want to do with their defense when you have a guy who is winning one-on-one by himself and to the point where he's getting double teamed. And then you remove that guy from a defensive line and it impacts the entire defense. And Max Crosby can replace some version of that. I think they'd love to have him up there. And then of course, now you have just Max Crosby and Hutchinson whenever he comes back. That's pretty nice.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, I got my game, we got Randy's game, and maybe we'll pick a couple more games to go along with that as well. Doing our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks, and then of course, get your fantasy football questions ready. 4:00, we got the Fantasy Football King ready to answer your questions. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Scott Graham here for Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, NFC action when Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams host the Vikings. At 5-1, Sam Darnold and Minnesota are coming off their first loss of the season. Now they face Matthew Stafford and the Rams, coming off a win over the Raiders. Ryan Ratke and former NFL head coach Ron Rivera have the call on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings. Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
You may know me as Ruben Gallego, but I've had a lot of titles over the years. First, son, or mijo, by my single immigrant mom who worked so hard to make ends meet, and brother by my 3 incredible sisters. I've been called janitor, line cook, construction worker, doing any job I could to help out since we didn't have much. I earned the title graduate from Harvard University. I was called infantryman in the Marines when my company took some of the heaviest losses in Iraq. I'm called congressman, proudly representing Arizona the past 10 years. But my favorite title of all is dad to my 2 beautiful kids whose future I'm fighting for every day. That's why today, my title is candidate for Senate. I'm fighting to lower costs and secure our border. I'm Ruben Gallego, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because for me, it's never been about titles. It's about standing up for hardworking Arizonans like you.
Paid for by Gallego for Arizona.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
In most countries of the world, Forte means door. United Forte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Doing our Hartman Solar NFL fan pick'em picks. A lot of bad matchups this week. Let's see. Baltimore will just stomp the Browns. That's not even a game worth watching.
Are you happy about that? What you did to Deshaun Watson?
Yes. I mean,
That's
no.
what you
actually,
wanted.
Can I be honest? No. I wanted somebody to actually break him in half. I didn't want it to be a non-contact injury. I wanted him destroyed by a human being. I wanted legs broken and bones poking out through, his socks. That's what that's what he deserved.
Dang, that's
But,
aggressive.
You know what else is aggressive?
Hmm.
Groping and sexually assaulting 27 women.
Agreed.
Okay. Well, there you go. What do you don't get a pass for that.
So eye for an eye.
The universe should cut you in half.
Well, don't worry.
I'd like to take Baltimore in this matchup.
Well, we're not doing the picks. It's pretty obvious that the Baltimore
sorry.
is going to stomp Jameis Winston and the Browns.
Ah.
And as I kind of start looking down here, it's like pretty obvious the Lions are going to roll right through the Titans, right?
Yeah.
They're in a fire
the
sale right
Titans
now.
who are trying to sell everything that they possibly can.
Detroit's going to go through Tennessee like a Christmas goose.
Jets should beat the Patriots, but I don't know.
They
Who the
should.
hell's- Somebody's ringing my doorbell.
I might change my mind on that too. It's
Oh no, I gotta check the front door.
that Patriots defense is real.
Oh,
Just a
good
sheriff.
lord! There was an ugly looking man at my front door. I got a camera for the front door.
Yeah.
Holy God, that guy was ugly.
Jump
Was it a
scare?
sheriff?
Huh?
Is it a
No,
sheriff?
no, just some.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the hell that was. The dogs are down there barking at him. It's fine. Sorry. I'm here alone. You never know what might happen. What were we talking about?
Jets, Patriots, maybe.
No, we're not talking about that. No, the hell with that.
It was the last teams that were mentioned.
No, what I mean is there's nothing worth talking about there. You know,
It's one of those where I just don't know. I can't guarantee you the Jets are going to win that game. If we
No.
come back Monday and the Patriots have won, I'm not shocked.
Trying to see here, Bengals and Eagles. Eagles probably will roll through the Bengals. Probably.
I don't know that that's a guarantee either. The Eagles secondary going up against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
No, the Bengals haven't played great this year.
The Bengals
so-
haven't played great, but I would also counter that with neither have the Eagles. Well, because they
Outside of-
looked all right against the Giants last week.
Outside of Barkley, they haven't looked good at all.
Yeah, like that. There's nothing about the Eagles that I like.
Yeah.
I tolerate most of the things with the Eagles.
It's not a game I'll probably want to watch. Chargers hosting the Saints.
Gross. Gross.
Not there. Yeah. Gross. Denver with a surprising 4-3 record hosting the Carolina Panthers. Stomp.
Yeah.
Chiefs are going to take care of business on the Raiders easily.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's obvious.
I mean, look at them.
So yeah, not a whole lot of great matchups this week. But hey, I don't know. This might be a game worth watching. The Houston Texans are 5-2. My Colts are surprisingly 4-3.
And your quarterback's returned, right? Is that right? Richardson,
hooray.
AR.
Is that a good thing or?
No, I don't know. Probably not.
I don't think it is.
But yeah, all right. Listen, D'Amico Ryan's done a great job with the Texans. And that is a team that is young with a good future. I don't know if that future is this year, but they are at home against the Colts. I'll let you guys talk about it first. Keon?
Yeah, I think the Texans just feel like just a more realized team. They obviously still have problems. They went up against the Packers last week, and CJ Stroud looked like he was in a house of horrors. It just like he couldn't get anything right. There was no read that he made that looked like CJ Stroud was the guy that's doing it normally. We just got the worst version of the Texans offense. Tank Dell didn't do anything. Like they just got completely neutralized. And I do think that this is a Colts defense, especially in the secondary, where maybe they feel like they can move the ball a little bit more comfortably this week. I think they're going to probably try to establish that. And I'm going to take the Texans in this game because I just think that they've got a sense of urgency, I think, after what happened a week ago.
All right. Ralph, I know you love picking against the Colts.
That's
So go
not
ahead.
true. I just don't think Richardson's, like I said, doesn't belong playing football right now in this league. So I think him coming back hurts you. It makes you a worse team, worse offense. And I think that the Texans will bounce back from last week. It was a bad game, but they'll bounce back, and I think they'll probably steamroll the Colts. So I'm going to take the Texans.
Randy, you jumping on the Texans too?
Not so fast, I would say, because last week I feel like the Green Bay Packers released the book on how do you beat the Houston Texans, and that's put as much pressure, all kinds of blitzing at CJ Stroud. And that way you can neutralize him. You neutralize him, you neutralize the passing game. Then all you have to worry about is have your run stoppers stop the run. I think Indiana has a great chance. Indianapolis has a great chance to do the same thing. They've got the defense to neutralize Stroud and take on Houston. I'm taking, listen, in the last 3 weeks, I have taken the blue horseshoe, and I'm going to do it again this week. The horseshoes will win.
You guys keep talking about this. I have to get somebody's. I got to yell at somebody, so I'll be right back.
All right, 10-4.
I
Ralph,
wish
you already picked, and Jeffrey he doesn't know what to do, and then Keon. I guess we could just sit here and talk about the World Series.
Let's do that. Let's talk about something like that.
Well, the two highest payrolls in baseball will be
Doesn't matter.
battling out in the. Oh, of course.
Why are you pointing that out?
It's because they buying themselves into the World Series
How
again.
many times has the highest payroll been in the World Series over the last 10 years? Okay, next.
So the two highest payrolls in baseball going to match up against each other. It's you might as well give Shohei Ohtani the World Series MVP now.
Well, you don't know if they're going to win. This is a great series. The Yankees are a great team. This is going to be a great series.
Dude, the Dodgers are so far ahead the road.
No, I don't think so.
Especially in talent and some of the guys you've gotten back. Yeah, your pitching's better. Your hitting is better. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think this is a 7-game.
Okay,
all right. I'm sure it will be.
What'd I miss?
World Series talk.
Well, we just talked the World Series because we
Seriously, you couldn't keep talking NFL for 3 seconds.
I almost wish you had lobbed up a game for us to talk about.
Yeah,
because
we
when you
didn't know
walked
what game
away,
to jump to.
Well, Keon pushed for us to talk about it, so we did.
I wish that were the case.
That was the case.
I
Keon made us
do
talk.
not
Yeah,
care.
he did. He
I'll be watching the World Series, but I don't actually care enough about it to talk about it.
Yeah, I had some pest control dweeb going through my place without even asking, so I had to go yell at somebody. Colts will lose. That's all I got.
All right.
Yeah, we already made those picks before you walked off, so
We're good.
Are we unanimous?
Yeah, we're pretty unanimous.
Well, except for Randy, who has picked your Colts.
I'm taking
Why?
the blue horseshoe. I explained all this before.
He's drinking.
And I don't remember exactly what I said.
He said he picked him the last 3 weeks. He's picking him again.
I thought it was damn inspiring, though. Whatever I came up with, it was damn
It
inspiring.
did sound inspiring. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
maybe
about
the
inspiring.
Colts will hear it and it'll
Sounded a little,
do something.
sluggish.
Pinocchio says, "Is Randy pulling lunch meat out of that closet there? I need one of those."
Lunch meat. What
I
are you
had
talking
some
about?
yummy ham during the break. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Old man says, Do you think the NFL players eat TV dinners?
No. I
Very
don't.
random question.
I don't think anybody eats TV dinners.
Well, somebody does because they sell them.
TV dinners. I mean, who eats TV dinners anymore? When's the last time you had a TV dinner?
Enough people that there's still a lot of them in the store.
But in this room, who's the last one to ever eat a TV dinner?
I had a pot pie not too long ago. Does that count?
No,
not really.
No. We're talking
Boy,
about the
I don't
Swanson
remember.
Salisbury steak with the, the berry, whatever it was thing that was always smashed, and the peas and the corn.
It's got to be 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been
You know, who
20
eats TV
years.
dinners as college students.
Mhm. I don't think
I thought
they
they
eat
just
that.
Yeah,
I thought
even
they
them.
eat top ramen.
They do that
ramen,
too.
a lot of
They
ramen.
keep microwaves in their room and they eat a lot
Oh,
of TV dinners.
crap. Hey, we're running out of time here. We don't have time for this. We got to do the Cardinals pick.
No, okay.
Jesus. That's how you know I'm sick. So the Miami Dolphins hosting the Arizona Cardinals. We are low on time. So, Keon, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm taking the Dolphins because I think Tua is going to be playing, and Tyreek Hill, poor guy's probably chomping at the bit to get a pass thrown to him that's greater than 20 yards when it actually meets him. I think that's what this offense is kind of looking forward to, just a little shot in the arm, and I think Tua, as long as he doesn't get concussed again, can give it to him.
Yeah, conditional pick. I got Miami if Tua plays. I got Cardinals if Tua doesn't. Ralph?
Tua is playing. Tua back equals Cardinals. Bad luck. Tua wins. Dolphins.
All right, now it's time to find out what Randy has to say about this. Dolphins hosting his Arizona Cardinals.
This is a love letter to the big, giant, red sea. The Cardinals are 3-4 after a blazing victory over the Hollywood Sparklers. And this week, they go to Miami. Yes, the Cardinals have met adversity ever since that first blowout win against the Hollywood Lambs. You remember that, don't you, Ralph? What can we as fans expect this weekend from our beloved red birds of prey? I say this. We will be throwing touchdowns from the time we touch down on the private jet in the tarmac at Miami Airport. There'll be nothing but scoring going on from the Cardinals. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. will hook up all day long. And yes, I've come up with a new name for the Cardinals defense. The Burning Bush defense. Because they spread like wildfire. Especially in climates like Miami, where it's really dry and everything dries out and there's no humidity whatsoever. The Cardinals will end up winning by 5 touchdowns, that is. The final score will be 78-2. The Dolphins will score 2 just because Tua will be back from his 5th concussion. This will be forever known as How to Catch Dolphins in a Tuna Net.
Wow. I miss those.
Yeah, all right.
Some of my best work, I think.
I don't think spreading like wildfire is a good thing for a defense. I think that might be bad.
You're talking about
Because if they
know
spread
anything?
like wildfire, there's no one there.
You root for the sea chickens. What
I'm
do you
just saying.
you know?
But I do miss those, Randy. That was great.
Mm.
You're the
I don't know
master.
about-
You're the master.
Still trying to figure out the 2, but,
Tua.
No, I
2.
get that, but, that means the Cardinals will, get
It'll
nailed
be
with
one
safety.
of those miraculous safeties. That's the way Miami will get it. And sorry, look, Fish Tank, I'm sorry. You know me, and I do not bet against, nor do I not pick the Cardinals to win. So,
Fish Tank
unfortunately-
says, I have no idea what to expect in this Cardinals versus Dolphins game. We could look like last year's offense and put up 40, or Tua could just see stars all game and be awful. Dolphins favored by 3.5 in the books, but it feels like a pick'em game to me. More fun bet would be how many quarters does Tua actually play? I'm starting the line at over under 3.5 quarters. I mean,
3.5.
he's not going to get a concussion immediately.
Let's hope
Usually
not.
it's going to
Yeah.
take a while.
Even the last pair that he had, there were games between those. You hope you don't get one immediately because that
That's not
probably doesn't end well,
Well, they-
for any of us.
Mighty
watching
Cardinal
that game.
burning bush defense. You don't know what to expect. It could come from anywhere. And then there's that flashover where it's like 25,000 degrees. Yeah, I think you should really protect Tua. You shouldn't play him this week.
Burning bush defense makes it sound like the Arizona Cardinals need to go to the free clinic. What? Just doesn't sound
You
good.
need to rethink that one.
Bruno Baller says, I would like to tell Ralph, in honor of Fernando Valenzuela, who I have the opportunity to get to see play, probably the best baseball player ever from Mexico, in my opinion. I'll take the Dodgers over the Yankees in the World Series, he says.
Amen to that. And he was probably the best player to ever come out of Mexico. By far. He was an amazing pitcher.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
care
do.
about Fernando Valenzuela. Yeah, I just don't care about the Yankees or the Dodgers in the World Series.
Yeah, you do.
That makes two of us.
It's going to be a great
0%.
World Series. Come on.
Uh-huh.
Apparently
Florida
I'm the
Mustard
only one
says,
on the show
having
watching.
Ralph on is like when your mother made you include your little brother.
Depends what I'm included in.
Right guy says they still make TV dinners. I'll say the same thing I said 40 years ago. Yuck. I like TV dinners. The right ones. Yeah.
Hungry man.
No, I'm a little bit. I could eat. Coming up next, we got your fantasy football questions. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Sports betting apps are not created equal. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here to talk about the Sport Trade Advantage. With higher payouts, Sport Trade is the ultimate sports betting experience. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's changing in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, then Sport Trade is for you. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. And if you're an experienced bettor and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
QFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, It's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room. Ralph from Harmon Solar is here, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. It's time to get those fantasy football questions answered, and just the man to do it is here with us right now, Scott, the fantasy football king Engel, senior writer for rotoballer.com, official fantasy writer for Seahawks.com, inaugural member of the Fantasy Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. It is Scott Engel, yes, and you can find him on the socials at Scott E. the King. How you doing, Mr. the King?
I'm doing good. How are you tonight?
Oh, well, we're ready for this next week of fantasy football, but man, the injuries, you're constantly having to go out there and check that waiver wire. I don't know how much you've had to work the waiver wire, but it seems like it's been a lot.
Considering I'm in 14 leagues, I have to work the waiver wire a lot. So I do like 7 on Tuesday and 7 on Wednesday, after all my moves. And I think I'd injured myself. I think I pulled something just, entering my moves.
Yeah, I got a little carpool tunnel syndrome there, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
listed as probable.
So, yeah. I'm glad you're at least able to help us out here today. Looking at our fantasy football futures, I'll tell you what, across all 14 of our leagues, last week was a low scoring week with the exception of just a couple of people. Half of it is due to guys dropping off the face of the earth with fantasy, other guys just not performing. I think you're going to have your work cut out for you this week with a whole lot of questions. First, let's see. Anybody in here on the show here want to ask Mr. the King some questions before we get started with the listener questions?
I've got a quick one here. Mr. the King, hi, it's Randy, and your biggest fan, longtime listener, first-time caller. I've got sort of a question at tight end. I've got Dalton Kincaid, but he's been listed as questionable. I could put Jonnu Smith in, which I feel like I should, or I could also use Noah Fant. Any ideas on what I should do here? Should I just keep Dalton Kincaid in, or should I move him around?
I don't think you need to carry 3 tight ends on your roster. I'd probably cut Jonnu Smith. He's had one good week, and now with Tua coming back, probably be about the wide receivers there in Miami. He's a decent backup, but I'd rather have Fant on the roster. Kincaid, there's different shades of questionable, like I say. It's been limited practice. Looks like he's something he's going to play through. Sometimes a lot of people just don't know it, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's different levels of questionable, and this is not something that's concerning. Seattle ranks 29th in fantasy points per game allowed to tight end. So I'd roll with Kincaid, but I think you need help there. And Kincaid has been a fantasy disappointment overall.
Yes. Yeah. Trust me. I know. Yes.
I know
more,
too.
Mr.
I
the
have
King.
him in about 5 leagues. So I know. I'm hoping that Amari Cooper being there will draw some defensive tension away and help him.
The second question I have, Mr. the King, I've got Jalen Waddle, and I've been itching to use him, and now Tua's back. Should I go ahead and start Jalen Waddle, or I don't usually like to move guys around that are just coming off of an injury. So, what do you think?
Well, 2 things. Number one, if you got an itch, I think you might want to wash that. Number 2,
I have some
it depends on what your other option is.
Uh-huh. You mean at wide receiver? Well, I've got Tyler Lockett.
No,
but he's
at right tackle.
That was sarcasm. He's using sarcasm.
I don't understand. I have Tyler Lockett. I could move him in. And of course,
Tyler Lockett. You said?
Yeah.
I
he's
think you
going
can
up
wait
against
until
Buffalo.
Sunday, and we can talk about this on my Sunday spot, or you can contact me anytime, off the show. I think if DK Metcalf doesn't play, I might want to go with Lockett.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. the
Yeah.
King.
All right, Keon, what do you got?
Yeah, Scott. Do you prefer, this is a flex position, Tank Dell or Jawan Jennings in that spot?
Jennings might not play. So I think a decision made for you. I just want to know, Keon, do you roster Keon Coleman? I think you have.
I tried. I did try. Just did not work out for me, unfortunately. Because there are just not that many people that I share a name with. You come across one of them, you're a little excited about it.
Yeah, I know. When I played fantasy baseball a few years ago, there was a center fielder for the White Sox who had a last name Engel, and I put him on my roster just to have him on. I didn't even start him.
I don't think I've ever seen a Jeffrey that played, except for, since Jeff Saturday. I don't know. Not a whole lot of Jeffs
Jeffrey
in the NFL.
Wilson, Miami Dolphins third string running back.
Oh, third string. Well, that's why. Yeah, sure.
Great. Look, he's there. He does
still on
exist.
an NFL roster.
He is a Jeffrey.
Well,
Yeah.
precious as I am, I'm not going to probably use my roster position for that.
Well, don't most adult men say Jeff?
You should get a New York Jets Ken O'Brien jersey.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
And I've always been a Jeffrey just because everybody else is a Jeff, and that way I know for sure when somebody's talking to me. Yeah, I don't give a damn what you think, Ralph.
I'm just saying, most adult men use the word Jeff. I mean, if you want to be Jeffrey, that's fine.
Most adult men don't wear the clothes you wear, Ralph. So really, you want to go?
Because they're not man enough to wear them. That's fine.
They have wives. They have wives that like them and don't want them to be ridiculed.
Wow, it's getting dangerous around here tonight.
Bullets
anyway,
flying everywhere.
You know what, Ralph? You've got Scott, the fantasy football king, Engel on Sunday morning on the Weekend Warriors. So do you actually want to ask a question now?
No, I just want to give my condolences for the Mets. That's all.
I don't need condolences.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
I
you do.
appreciate it. You know, this
It's not
is
sincere.
This was a very fun, exciting year. It was supposed to be a bridge season, and they turned out to, deep run. So, I think this team's future is bright. They have a good front office. They have a good owner. I think it's sustainable.
I just wanted you to talk baseball. Okay.
All right, my turn. All right, so here's my fantasy football dilemma. I got Kyle Pitts as a tight end, and he's done okay, right? He's at least the last 3 weeks, he's put up 15, 10, and 13 and a half. But now I got Cade Otton, who I've had sitting there, and he's probably going to get a lot more attention now that one guy's got a hammy and the other guy's got a foot going the wrong direction for the Buccaneers. So is Cade Otton somebody I should think about more in the tight end position, at least for now, or do I need to stick with Pitts?
I think you need to stick with Pitts. I mean, Otton had a nice game, but Pitts with Kirk Cousins injecting life into that offense, just I feel more comfortable starting him. It's not crazy to start Otton over him. My updated lineup ranks right now on rotoballer.com. I have Pitts at 7 and I have Otton at 11 for this week.
Yeah. Now, I think that if they don't make any moves, you got to start thinking of Otton pretty seriously, though, don't you? Because he's going to get a lot more attention.
I don't know what else is out there. They're not going to trade for Deontay Johnson because that's winning division, and trading for Mike Williams is certainly not going to help anything.
Yeah. Hey, what are your thoughts on Xavier Worthy?
He's boom or bust. You hope he gets a deep shot, otherwise he doesn't do anything for you. What's interesting though is I was writing about in my lineup ranks article on Roto Bowler about DeAndre Hopkins. I'd hold off on starting him this week in a lot of cases because it's his first game with the team, and everybody's making like, okay, all of a sudden this powerful offense gets this elite wide receiver. Well, Hopkins' best days are behind him, and the Chiefs don't unleash the pass quite like they did. So, if you have DeAndre Hopkins, I might even look at trading him because a lot of the hype around him and the Chiefs' offense is based on past seasons.
Well, I don't have him. I got Chris Olave, and I don't know for sure if he's gonna play this week, and I got Javonte Williams in my flex. But if Olave doesn't play, Who should I be thinking about? I got Rashad Bateman, got Demario Douglas, got Lazard, I got Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I'd probably I'm torn between Worthy and Bateman, but they're both like the same type of player in terms of upside. They both have nice upside. Bateman, maybe more reliable for a short touchdown catch, but I'd probably go. If Zay Flowers doesn't play, I would go with Bateman.
I wish I had Zay Flowers, but I have Olave. So, but I'll go with Bateman. Okay. All
That's
right.
what they say. April showers bring Zay Flowers, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for our fantasy football questions. And I know that the text line has now officially loaded up, bogged down, and is ready for your attention. So let's go over here. Hefty Lefty says, "Hi, Scott. Got a few
Hello.
minor questions. Eckler or Chubb?"
Yeah, I'm not playing Austin Eckler, especially with Marcus Mariota, quarterback in Washington.
Steelers or Chiefs defense?
That's interesting. They both have good matchups, but I prefer the Chiefs going against Aiden O'Donnell.
Aubrey or Siebert?
Ben Brandon Aubrey.
That is all of Hefty Lefty's questions. So he says, thank you for the input, as always.
You got two good kickers there. Somebody that pays attention to kicker trends, actually. It's nice.
Moist One says, hi, Mr. the King. Go Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
He says, pick two out of Mason, Jacobs, or Swift.
Ooh, that's tough. I bet Jacobs there because he doesn't get in the end zone a lot.
There you go. So take Mason and Swift, Moist One. Fighting Wampa says, PPR league, McBride or Kelsey?
I have to go McBride. He's my number one ranked tight end for this week, even though Kelsey will have a good game. It's funny, my mind's attuned to basketball right now. I'm thinking McBride. I just wrote an article about the Knicks and thinking Deuce McBride.
Yeah, he's not talking about that McBride. I'm pretty sure.
No,
I don't know.
No.
Hey, here's the thing. What Kelsey? Now, Kelsey just sort of disappeared, and is he going to reappear as the season gets longer, or is he going to just reappear in the playoffs? I mean, is that something that you're concerned about?
You've got to be concerned about it. Kelsey's not what Kelsey used to be. I think the age is starting to cut into the fantasy production. There's no reassurance. Most fantasy tight ends don't have a stable statistical floor, and now Kelsey's one of them.
That's a weird place to be. It is not used to that. Navy Brad says, here's my fantasy question. Quarterback, Sam Darnold or CJ Stroud?
I'm going to go with Stroud. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game for Houston this week. Good matchup against the Colts. Important game to maintain first in their division, too.
Screaming Eagle says, hello, Fanatic and friends. Should I start Tucker Kraft or Evan Ingram at tight end?
Well, you could probably trade one of them. I'd probably look to trade Kraft. There's a lot of people have unreliable tight ends, but the way Evan Ingram's been producing numbers, you can't sit him.
He also wants to know on defense, Chiefs or Vikings?
Chiefs for sure.
All right. Swazman says, hey, Mr. the King, wide receiver, Jay Waddle or T. Lockett or Jay Myers for the Raiders?
We don't know if Myers is playing, not would factor in. Again, this is a question that you asked, I think. If DK Metcalf is out, play Lockett, otherwise play Waddle.
There you go, Swazman. Pinocchio says, hello, kind sir. It's kind of a weird way to start this, but all right.
Yeah.
He says, what you think? Puka Nacua or Jalen McMillan?
Yeah, Puka's back tonight, but I wouldn't risk it in the first game back. I'll go with McMillan.
Chosen One says, good afternoon, gentlemen, and Mr. the King. Flex spot, half-point PPR. Kay Allen versus Washington. Zach Moss versus Philadelphia. W. Robinson versus Pitt.
I'm going to go with Keenan Allen there. That matchup against Washington is very wide receiver friendly, especially in terms of scoring touchdowns. Allen was bothered by a heel issue a few weeks ago, but he's had a bye week to rest up. I'm going with Keenan Allen.
Donnie, that's not a question. Donnie's asking me to do the Skull chant. Why would I do that? Shut up, Donnie.
You're not a Vikings fan.
No. Why would I do that? Eye Candy says, hi, Mr. the King. I need
Hello.
to start 2 of the 4 running backs. I got the Jets Hall. I got Chuba Hubbard. Koch, Huma, Moss from the Bengals. I'm having a hard time reading your email, your text there, Eye Candy. Did you decipher that?
Koch Huma.
Did you? Okay, so are you saying Huma?
I don't know what that is. I start Brees Hall. If it's between Moss and Hubbard, I go with Hubbard. But if Moss is to the point where he's not even useful in fantasy right now, but I don't like Hubbard this week with Bryce Young running that offense. So I might have to go with Burrow, whoever he is.
Ah, crap. I got Chuba Hubbard, too. I got Tony Pollard and Chuba Hubbard starting.
That doesn't look good this week.
Neither of them, huh? So I just bumped Javonte Williams up. The only thing I've got
No,
left
Javonte
is
Williams is a must start this week. Carolina allows the most fantasy points per game to opposing running backs.
well, then I'm kind of still screwed. I can move Javonte Williams up and take out Tony Pollard, right? But then I got Chuba Hubbard sitting there.
I would take out Hubbard, actually. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I would take out Pollard. Yeah. I would take out Pollard.
I'm in bad shape either way because
Less of a
my
chance
only
of a
other guy
touchdown.
is Devin
Well, you
Singletary.
could just hope that Bryce Young, spend some time watching Andy Dalton. And, you don't want to pick up a whole lot from Andy Dalton, but at least Dalton can move the offense.
Well, this does not bode well for me. But anyways, let's see. Raven Kid says need 2 in the flex. Javonte Williams, Jalen Waddle, George Pickens, or Ricky Pearsall, PPR format.
I'm going to go Javonte must start this week, and I'm going to go Pickens. Russell Wilson injected some life into that offense last week. Still throws a good deep ball, and that means good things for Pickens. So I'm going Williams and Pickens.
Okay, you're not going to come back to this. So which one is worse, Tony Pollard or Chuba Hubbard?
I think Hubbard has a better shot to get in the end zone than Pollard. I really don't like Pollard's matchup this week.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll figure it out. Let's see here. Lost Toby.
Go with Hubbard. Nothing to figure out.
No, I mean, I got to figure out somebody else for my flex because Javonte Williams was in my flex.
Who are your wide receivers they got him popping the flex?
The only people I've got left that aren't already in there is Rashad Bateman and Alan Lazard. I got Cade Otton.
I would go with Bateman.
Yeah.
Unless you can start Otton at the flex.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Otton in the flex. And then,
Otton in the flex for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't mean to double
you're
back
right.
on that. Swave Dave says Otto or Kraft.
I'm sure he means I'm going to go with Kraft.
All right. We got
shot to get in the end zone.
We got to take a break. When we come back, a lot of people have a lot of questions for Scott, the fantasy football king Engel. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Radical Ruben Gallego can't be trusted. Gallego's inflation-causing policies have made it impossible for Arizona's families to get by.
Gallego's one of the most far-left people in Congress. He's voted with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris 100% of the time.
Even worse, Gallego is an open borders Democrat who voted to allow illegal immigrants to vote in our elections. Radical Ruben Gallego is just too far left for Arizona. Carrie Lake is running for U.S. Senate to be a voice for all Arizonans. She's endorsed by both President Donald Trump and Governor Doug Ducey.
With Kerry fighting for Arizona in the Senate, we will make America great again.
Carrie Lake will fight to lower costs for Arizona's families, eliminate taxes on tips and Social Security, and will secure our southern border. The choice is clear. Vote Carrie Lake for Senate.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Carrie Lake for Senate.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
Today's winner here on 1580 The Fanatic. Scott, the Fantasy Football King Engel, is answering the fantasy football questions. We'll get as many as we can in before 4:30 when we step aside for Westwood One's Thursday Night Football, Vikings versus the Los Angeles Rams. So let's get right to it. Moldy Tuna Fish says, Scott Engel, who would you take in a fight? Ralph Romano, Jeffrey O'Brien, or Randy White?
I'm gonna go with Randy. You know, he's the quietest one of the three of you. You know, but that's the kind of guy you don't want to mess with.
He'd fight dirty.
Oh my God, I'm Irish, and nobody fights dirtier than me. But yeah, okay, that's his pick. Wow. Fecal Mist says, "Who do I start?
Oh, him.
Alvin Kamara or James Cook?"
James Cook, top 5 running back. You know, Ralph, Seattle defense looking a lot better up front with the trades that they've made. You know, getting Byron Murphy too healthy, but I think it's still going to take a little more time. James Cook is a must start every week. You know, he's having a breakthrough season as a number 1 fantasy running back. I want Fecal Mist to do 2 things. Change his screen name. It makes me think bad things whenever I hear this. And number 2, don't ask any more questions about James Cook. Not because I don't want your questions, but you know, it's not. If you have James Cook, you're not sitting him for anybody else every week.
Yeah, it's I learned the hard way, the same way Fecal Mist about Jalen Hurts. So just don't even ask him about it. CK.
Oh, no, I'm not ripping him for it. I'm telling him he's got somebody great in his roster.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need to reserve him.
Exactly. CK says non-PPR. Who's most likely to score? Ralph at the Bunny Ranch or Ralph at the Pride Parade?
I would probably say Ralph at Seahawks game. He'll score great tickets.
There you go.
Amen.
The correct answer actually is Ralph at the Bunny Ranch, because if you got money, everybody scores. But at the Pride Parade, gay men have way better taste than, you know, Ralph. So he's not going to score there. So that's the answer.
Real dangerous around here tonight.
I've been eyed by many men. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Huh? Fighting Wampa says Steelers defense or Vikings defense?
Steelers for sure.
There you go. Shooter McGavin says flex spot Shakir, Sutton, Brian Robinson.
I don't like Robinson this week with Mariota running that offense. I know last week that Cortland Sutton gave you a donut, but he's playing against the Panthers this week. Go with Cortland Sutton for the squeaky wheel bounce back game.
Horn Ninja says, hello, Mr. the King. How about Romeo Doubs versus Jacksonville, or Jacoby Myers versus Kansas City?
Yeah, definitely Dobbs. You know, Jacksonville is a terrible pass defense.
Thundar, the Santa Barbarian, says, I have to work late today, but I can see Ralph is there. And he has good taste in baseball teams, so just wanted to commemorate the passing of the great Dodger Fernando Valenzuela and cheer for his old team in the Thundar, this is our fantasy football segment. Don't waste our time with Dodger ass kissing.
Hey, respect. I
yeah, but you know, he's saluting Fernando Valenzuela, which is pretty darn cool. You know,
I'll allow that. We've had 2 days to say that. It's not the time for that, Thundar. Rye Guy says Eckler's still playing. He's got to be about 600 years old by now, right? Also not a question.
I think he's 29, which is quite a difference. But here's one for you, Ralph. Prime Fernando Valenzuela, prime Dwight Gooden. That's a tough one.
Oh. Ooh. I think
doctor.
Gooden might have been better a little longer.
Yeah, the doctor.
I don't know.
No, I think Valenzuela was. Gooden's elite years were like 2 years. And after that, he was good, not great. He's my favorite baseball player of all time now. I've never seen anything as brilliant as prime Dwight Gooden.
You know how it is when you're sitting there waiting to turn left at a light and the light turns green? And if like you're up front, you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But if you're like 5 cars back, you're like, go! That's what the people on the text line with their fantasy football questions feel like right now.
Yeah.
You know what? We're on Sunday, so
I reserve the right.
Fifth letter says, is Puka on a snap count tonight? Any news on that?
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
Okay. Whistling Gerbil says, Mahoverated or Caleb? I think he means Mahomes or Caleb.
Caleb Williams on rotobowler.com for me right now. You can check it out. He's my top 5 quarterback coming off of 2 massive games, playing against a Washington defense that's shaky to begin with, and Marcus Mariota will cause them to spend a lot of times on the field. Caleb Williams fantasy winning week.
There you go. Latina Leprechaun had the same question, and you just answered it. But she says, of the following 3, which 2 would you start? Deontay Johnson, Zay Flowers, or Devontae Smith?
We don't know if Zay Flowers is going to play. And I hope he does, because you don't want to start Deontay Johnson with Bryce Young at quarterback. You definitely start Devontae Smith, but I'd like to see what's on free agency, in that league. If you can find a Cedric Tillman or a Jalen McMillan, I'd start him over both of them.
Big George says Rashad Bateman, Michael Pittman Jr., Christian Watson, or Tutu Atwell at wide receiver.
Wouldn't start Atwell, with Puka and Cooper back. I'm gonna go Bateman, especially if Flowers doesn't play.
Eye Candy says, here, let me ask my question again. He says, sorry, Chuba Hubbard, Breece Hall, Jay Cook, or Zach Moss. I need 2 of those 4 running backs, and sorry about the autocorrect.
That's okay. You start Hall and Cook every week, and you won't have to ask that question again, because that's a good thing. You lock those 2 in every week, and you don't even consider the other 2.
There you go. Hefty Lefty says, wait and see on Cooper Kupp. It would be replacing Higgins if not.
No, you don't wait and see. Minnesota allows the most fantasy points per game allowed to wide receiver. My rule, Jeff, I've always said this. If the team clears him to play, I clear him to play for my fantasy team. Unless there's a report of a pitch count, and there's nothing like that. They've waited a long time for Kupp to come back. They didn't run him out there before he was ready. There's no reason that a lot of fantasy players will do this. Oh, first game back, what if he's rusty? What if he's on the pitch count? Team fully clears him to play. Don't worry about it.
Moist One says, sorry to chirp you, Mr. the King, but 29 threes. Haven't seen that on a basketball court since the Liberty won the WNBA title.
Yeah, well, that was pretty bad. That was pretty awful for the Knicks the other night. But, as Knicks fans, we've been through worse. So, this team's going to take a while to gel. Still very hopeful.
888-368-1580. This is a very odd moment here on the Daily Blender. I don't remember a time where we actually cleared all the questions before the music started.
And talked about other sports.
Yeah, you got time to do that too.
Multitasking there.
People are typing in a whole lot of horrible things too, though, that I'm not reading. But listen, again, you can find Scott, the Fantasy Football King Engel, at the rotoballer.com. You can find him at Seahawks.com. You can find him on the socials. What's your favorite social? Is it the X, or what do you like?
The X, Scott at Scott E. the King. And you can also find me at The Athletic on Fridays.
That's not a social site. So you're on The Athletic too?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys.
And Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio Sunday morning.
Well, Well, we're a real radio, so. Jeez.
Gil Alexander hosts